Devin, Jerry Jones, Dallas Cowboys.
What's going on, Jerry?
You are now a Dallas Cowboy.
When Jerry Jones called the 114th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the kid on the other end of the phone said something that no fourth-round pick ever says. He literally told Jerry Jones, "You're getting the best corner in the entire draft." And that kid is Devin Moore. He is 6'3", he weighs 198 pounds, he has a wingspan of nearly 77 inches, and he just spent 4 years at the University of Florida playing in only 30 out of a possible 50 games. He had 2 shoulder surgeries, a back injury, a concussion, and a groin surgery. His medical file reads like a novel. And yet he stood in his living room in Naples, Florida, and told Jerry Jones he was getting a steal. Now here's where most people would tell you that the injuries were the obstacles. And sure, the surgeries were brutal, but the real fight for Devin Moore was never about tendons and scalpels. It was about waking up every morning, doing every single thing right, and still getting told he could not play on Saturday. That is the kind of test that breaks people from the inside out. And to understand how he survived it, you have to go back to a basketball gym in Southwest Florida. Naples, Florida, palm trees, white sand, and one of the wealthiest zip codes in the state. But behind the resort town veneer, Naples High School has produced serious football talent. And Devin Moore did not come from football. Not even close. His father, Chris Moore, coached a travel basketball team called the Florida Phenoms for about 15 years. Basketball was the family business. Chris had kids in and out of the house constantly, teaching fundamentals and enforcing one rule above all others. His father would explain it by saying, "Academics is a must in my family. There is no reason he should not make A's. The least you should make is a B." Devin absorbed every bit of that. He carried a 4.8 GPA. He played basketball. He ran track, posting a 22.29 in the 200 meters as a sophomore. He was a pure multi-sport athlete with length and speed in everything he touched. And then he wandered onto the football field. The coaches saw the tools immediately: the length, the instincts, the ball skills. But there was a problem. Picture a 6'2" kid, lean as a palm frond, walking into the facility like his speed alone was going to carry him. His high school coach, Rick Martin, would later recall telling him, "Devin, you have got to kill the weight room, man. You are 170 pounds. And you are going to get broke." Moore heard it, but he did not just hear it. He took it personally. Between his sophomore and junior seasons, Moore went from 170 pounds to 205. Not gradually, not casually. He attacked the weight room with the same intensity his father demanded in the classroom. Martin would later say he kind of took it to that next level. "We knew something was happening. We knew he was going to be special." That was the moment. The basketball kid from the Florida Phenoms became a football player. As a junior, Moore moved to cornerback full-time and intercepted 5 passes, returning 1 for a touchdown. By his senior year, opposing teams stopped throwing his way entirely. He still put up 38 tackles, 11 passes defensed, and 4 fumble recoveries. In 10 regular season games, the Naples defense gave up a combined 45 points and posted 6 shutouts. But then Moore got hurt and missed the playoff game. Naples gave up 49 points. 1 player absent, 49 points allowed. That is how much he meant to that defense. The recruiting world had already seen enough. Moore was a 4-star prospect, the number 194 overall player in the country, an Adidas All-American who picked off a pass in the All-American Bowl. Alabama wanted him. Auburn wanted him. LSU wanted him. On the 4th of July, before his senior year, he committed to Notre Dame. The academics, the brand, the prestige. He visited South Bend 3 times. He was locked in. Then Brian Kelly bolted for LSU. No warning, no phone call, just gone. Moore decommitted, talked it over with his family, and the day before early signing day, he flipped to Florida, 3 hours from home. Close enough for his parents to drive to every game. His family did not like long flights, and Moore did not want to put them through that just to watch him play. New Gators coach Billy Napier told reporters that Moore was one of the first players they evaluated and called him an impressive young man. Florida had also just hired cornerbacks coach Corey Raymond away from LSU, and that sealed it. Moore signed as the crown jewel of Napier's first recruiting class. Moore arrived in Gainesville in January 2022 with massive expectations. Florida had almost no depth at cornerback. He was expected to play right away, and for 5 games he delivered. He logged 167 defensive snaps as a true freshman. He was adjusting to SEC speed, starting to feel like he belonged. Then it all came apart in a single practice rep. Early October 2022, a routine coverage drill. Moore dropped back, leapt to break up a pass, and got tangled with a receiver on the way down. He would later say, "I went down and felt a big pop, and I knew that was it. It had been nagging all season long, but when I went down that day, we knew it was much worse than before." Season-ending shoulder surgery. 5 games into his college career, and because he had already played in those 5 games, he could not take a red shirt. That year of eligibility was gone, but the shoulder was fixable. The real obstacle was what came next. Moore spent the spring of 2023 in a non-contact jersey. When the season finally arrived, his back gave out. Then a concussion. He missed 5 more games. In 2 full seasons, Moore had played in a combined 12 games. Now picture this. A 6'3" All-American, a kid who had Alabama and Notre Dame fighting over him, and he is sitting in a training room in Gainesville alone, watching his teammates take the field every Saturday while his body refuses to cooperate, doing everything right and getting nothing back. He would finally admit what he was feeling. He said, "I was like, dang man, why is this happening to me? I am doing all the right stuff off the field. I never miss a session." Most players in that situation would have entered the transfer portal. Nobody would have blamed him. Devin Moore stayed, and even through the frustration, the flashes were real. In his limited 2023 appearances, Moore allowed just 5 receptions for 30 yards on 12 targets. Pro Football Focus graded him as one of Florida's top 3 defenders among anyone who played at least 100 snaps. The talent was screaming through the cracks. He came back for his junior year in 2024 and started 6 of 7 games. 2 more interceptions, a 52-yard pick return against Kentucky, the best football of his life. Then the shoulder betrayed him again. Another surgery, another season cut short. 19 games played out of 38 possible across 3 years. No full healthy season on the resume, and the transfer portal sitting right there. He did not even consider it. Instead, Moore came back for 2025 and completely reinvented how he took care of his body. Blood tests to identify deficiencies, nutrition panels to pinpoint which foods caused inflammation. He told reporters he lost 12 pounds of fat and gained 15 pounds of muscle. The basketball kid from Naples who once relied on raw speed had become a scientist of his own body. And then he played an entire season, all 11 games, every start, a career-high 35 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, a sack, a forced fumble, 2 interceptions, 4 pass breakups. Quarterbacks posted a 67.0 passer rating against his coverage. His PFF defensive grade of 84.2 was the highest on the team and ranked 34th out of 928 qualified cornerbacks nationally. His best game came October 4th against 9th-ranked Texas. 1 catch allowed for 11 yards on 5 targets. And in the 4th quarter, he picked off Arch Manning to help seal a 29-21 upset. After the season, Moore reflected on what a full year meant. He said, "It has meant the world, man. There is no better feeling than being out there with my brothers because you are only given 12 guaranteed Saturdays." 12 guaranteed Saturdays. Coming from a kid who missed more games than he played, those words hit different. But the draft process had one more curveball. Moore underwent groin surgery in December 2025. He could not participate in the Senior Bowl. He showed up at the Combine still recovering and ran a 4.50 40-yard dash, the 46th percentile for corners, well below the high 4.30s he reportedly ran before the surgery. He could not do any other athletic testing until Florida's March Pro Day. When he got there, he was honest. He said, "Having surgery on my groin like 3 months ago, I was not able to train for a whole bunch of this process. They love my size. They know I can run. They just want to see me, how I can break." The Cowboys had already seen enough on tape. They gave him a 3rd-round grade internally. April 25th, 2026, day 3 of the NFL Draft. Moore is home in Naples with his family. 3 rounds have passed without his name being called. Pick 109. Kansas City takes cornerback Jaden Kennedy out of Oregon. A corner off the board? Not Moore. Pick 110. Jets take Cade Klubnik. Pick 111. Denver takes KG Casey. Pick 112. The Cowboys are on the clock. Moore's phone buzzes. But Dallas takes offensive tackle Drew Shelton out of Penn State. So close. Same team. Different position. Pick 113. Indianapolis selects Jalen Farmer. 5 picks, 5 names. None of them Devin Moore. Then pick 114 comes up. Dallas is on the clock again. The phone rings. It is Jerry Jones, and Devin Moore picks up and says, "You are getting the best corner in the draft. Pick 114, 4th round. The Dallas Cowboys select cornerback Devin Moore from the University of Florida. Will McClay, the Cowboys' VP of player personnel, would say the long athletic corner that can play press, he can play off, he can play zone schemes. He understands spacing. That is a front office telling you they see a starter, not a project. When asked about the injuries, McClay did not flinch. He said, "Our doctors gave him a medical grade that we thought was passing. He did not miss a game last year. We feel good about where he is." Moore's reaction said it all. He told reporters, "It is frustrating at times, but at the end of the day, you are blessed. Only the 1% of the 1% make it to this level. When we turn the tape on and we put them pads on, it is time to go prove it." All that other stuff goes out the window. A 4-year deal worth $5.4 million, and a reunion with Shamar James, his former Florida teammate already on the Cowboys roster as a second-year linebacker. The first time Moore walked into the Star, the Cowboys' 91-acre headquarters in Frisco, the contrast must have been staggering. Italian marble floors engraved with the names of 22 Ring of Honor members, 5 Vince Lombardi trophies standing unenclosed, close enough to touch. Above his head, 19,200 white LED lights dancing across a 5-story ceiling. And through 70-foot glass walls, a direct view of the practice fields where he would compete for a starting job. 3 years ago, this kid was in a non-contact jersey watching spring practice from the sideline. Now he was walking past 5 world championship trophies in a building designed to remind every person who enters what this franchise expects. That is a long way from a basketball gym in Naples. The building needs him. The 2025 Cowboys defense was the worst in franchise history. Dead last in passing defense at 251.5 yards per game. Dead last in scoring at 30.1 points per game. They gave up 511 total points, more than any Cowboys defense ever. Dallas waived former All-Pro Trevon Diggs in December. Darren Bland has battled injuries. The cornerback room is desperate for someone with Moore's combination of length, ball skills, and competitive fire. New defensive coordinator Christian Parker, the youngest in franchise history, tore the entire staff down and rebuilt it. Moore steps into that rebuild with the frame to press receivers at the line and the PFF grades to prove he can play zone, read quarterbacks, and trigger downhill. He was not penalized a single time in either 2024 or 2025. Remember the Florida Phenoms, the travel basketball team his dad coached for 15 years? Devin grew up in that environment. He learned that showing up is not optional, that the work is the work regardless of whether the results are showing up yet. That same kid who was once 170 pounds and had to be told to get in the weight room ran blood tests on his own body to find what was causing inflammation. That same kid who missed 20 college games walked out of Gainesville with a degree in general business, 5 career interceptions, and the highest PFF grade on his team. From the Florida Phenoms to the Dallas Cowboys. From a basketball gym in Naples to Italian marble floors in Frisco. From 30 career games and a medical file thicker than most playbooks to telling Jerry Jones he is getting the best corner in the draft, he has been getting up for 4 years. Now it is time to see what happens when he stays up. If you enjoyed this one, please like and subscribe. See y'all in the next one. Peace.